Day and the 100-year Cedarville history. So they, and if you read through this, that was a real shindig. I mean, they had a lot of cool stuff going on. They did pageants. They had 50 people celebrating through pageants, one-act historical scenes, Cedarville and Freeport were about the same size at one time. Freeport was just a little bit bigger, probably around this time before pre-Civil War. And there was a competition to become the county seat. And Cedarville, between Cedarville and Freeport. And I'm not sure what the competition is, but obviously Freeport won. And then I know John Adams had a petition to get the railroad through here. And if that would have happened, Cedarville would have been pretty huge. But it kind of changed direction. And so Cedarville stays the gem of Stevenson County, which I think in the last presentation I came across that. There's an article that calls Cedarville the gem of Stevenson County. So that probably also caused the eventual decline or population in Cedarville. All right, Benson Store, 1850. This is on 255 North Mill Street. So that's across. Where's your dad's house?
280.
It's 280. 255. I'm pretty sure it's that open area next to where the telephone company is. The telephone switch boxes right there. Paul Fry's house is right here. So if you're standing in the doorway looking up, it'll look at Jim Day's house. So
So it's 255.
is that 255? Yeah. 255
Just
North
north
Mill Street.
Mill Street, which is just north of Paul's.
So next to Sharon and Jim's house. Yes. So between your house and Paul's Paul lived. Beautiful place. And the story goes, there was still, when it closed down, there was still articles in the store into the 70s or even later 80s or something like that, 90s. I'm not sure when they tore it down, but I remember Jim talking about that. That it was like they shut it down, they didn't touch it. It was like a time capsule. Read an article in the newspaper about this from like the 40s or 50s, about how the kids would come in and they would must have been a video. But these little kids would come in and they would give them candy and stuff like that. But it seemed to be like a town staple where the kids hung out. I'm pretty sure there's an inn there also. I think it said there's a Devil's Walkway joining. Brewery travels, rested in the village inn after a long day of travel, stagecoach. Okay.
Steve, that's where the telephone building is now.
It's next to the telephone building, telephone switchboard. Which is another, we could have presentations just on the telephone switchboard. I started to tap into that and found out that Cedarville is way ahead of everybody else with the telephone. In the early 1900s, there was someone here invested in it and brought the telephone network here and tied it into Freeport. And then he ended up selling that to there's a lot of research that, or a lot of information on that store too that Jim has put together. So here's Cedarville 1871. Nothing really new on this. The house or the lot numbers are on here, but it doesn't have the names of people. But what I can do for you though is I made copies of this. Wendy did a lot of research and compiled a spreadsheet that is from different sources, but some of those lot numbers are the same lot numbers that are in here. So you can kind of go through here and see the different people, different lots, and
But we know that there's some errors in there because different books have different things listed.
yeah.
That's why,
1871 plat.
yeah, but then as it went on, they sometimes have the right names after that, but then you go to a book and one, like, the one that's sort of suspect that I sort of stopped using is that Stevenson County history one.
Oh, history of Stevenson County, yeah. Yeah,
Maybe that's so right.
yeah, they try, but you'll hear a lot, it's like, okay, be careful with that one, because
Yeah, there's sort
you
of.
need multiple sources for that. Alright, so, let's see. Alright, this is one of my favorite sketches to stare at. Cedarville Mills. So this is, this right here is the barn, Adams Barn. That's the mill. There are two bridges. This right here is Mill Street. And for reference, this up here would be the school where we're sitting at. The 1871 version up there on top of that mill. So that mill there, more of it is right over here somewhere. So that's kind of like down the hill a little bit right there. But what's interesting when you look at the map, the road goes right in front of the Adams house. Then veers across the bridge, goes this way, and then back all the way to the ridge, all the way up to 26. And if you're going south on 26, you'll see some telephone poles. The road goes this way, and then kind of the telephone poles go that way. That's the original road going into Cedarville. And there's a guy there. I want to stop and just say hi to him and say, hey, can we just kind of start walking back there, because it's
I think you can, and I'm told that that's a right of way.
yeah.
It's back there for the power
Yeah.
company, the power line.
Yeah.
And we live in a lane that goes across 26 from Angle Road.
Okay.
Okay, so that neighbor, he maintains that, he mows it,
Right.
and he'd be happy, he'd be fine with
But
somebody.
yeah, it would be
Because it's
good to
public.
ask and let them know first, so that they don't think you're some.
Oh, he would, I don't think he would care.
Yeah. So is that the first house or the second house that you're talking about, the guy that maintains it?
The first house from which direction?
From the north, going south.
He's the first house. You can't see our buildings from the highway.
In his driveway, he must have had connections to the railroad, because he has like some
Yeah,
railroad
yeah,
crossing
I don't know the history
things
there.
there.
Mhm.
So, okay, good to know. What's your name again?
Martha Hooley.
Martha?
I'm Hooley now,
Hooley.
I was Zumdahl.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you. So we'll end up here somewhere, but that's fine. We'll just say we're lost if we get over here and the current 1977, the Freeport Daily Bulletin, here it is a advertisement for the Penny Buggy Company, which I thought was cool. So Dexter Spring Buggy was celebrated. That must have been like the cool model back then. Okay. This 1877. That's wild. So celebrated Dexter Spring. There's back or skeleton wagons, piano, coal box, Whitechapel, or doctors.
So it was
They're kind of a buggy.
yeah, kind of buggy.
There you go. So different models. That makes me want to go and do some research to see what these things look like. So we have exclusive right to manufacture this style of buggy. So according to them, they can only manufacture that style. But if you look at that building though, it's not very big. So they were pumping those up. They probably outgrew that pretty fast and just was able to go to move to Freeport eventually. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, Hooper residence. This is on the Hooper residence is 315 North Mill Street, and I think it's closer to. This comes up in a lot of this is another inn. And
That's right across from you guys, right?
Dr. Hooper.
listed in the cemetery too. But
So 1913, cemetery's still there, school's there. You can see who owns much of this property. Adams, Altman,
Oakland's up and down too.
Benson, Adams, Altman. In fact, their relatives still, there's a little barn, let's see, what goes here? There's a barn and house right there. That's still in the family. And those are the people who Galen visited in Florida that came up. Because I was asked at one time by Jim on behalf of them to look at the barn and see if I thought it was salvageable or not. They were going to try to restore it. And it's like, it's pretty bad. So they wanted to come up here and collect some of the wood, just for memory's sake, and break it back down. So I think that's what they did when they came up here, right? Yeah. So interesting. All right. So from here, I'd like to show you this database. Yeah, let's switch to mirror so we will see. Okay. So this is 100 gigabytes of information. And I kind of bookmarked it right here at the buildings. And now, one thing about Mr. Jim, he was still old school, and I helped him a lot sorting things out because he's more of a file cabinet kind of mentality. And when he originally put this database together, he made names really long. He abbreviated a lot of stuff, but he actually ended up going beyond what is permissible. So when I went to back up his original hard drive, I couldn't do it because it kept saying file too big. So I was shortening them out. But as I got deeper into it, I found out there were like 10,000 files that were too big. So in the name, so I had to truncate a lot of those. So there's a lot of work that was done to try to keep these intact. But this right here, do you see any street numbers that you want to take a look at?
Okay, so there's the Mill Street 300, that's the Richard. See, it says Richard Shippey's store, that's why I wonder.
Oh, okay, there you go. Maybe it was this.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or if it just happened to have gotten put in the same file.
Wow, you know what? I've never seen this.
I know. Okay, so where is that?
Never was that.
That's at that corner, because you can see that place in the background. That's right across the street. That would have been that inn.
Is that the Richard store?
Yes. Yeah.
Right here?
So if you go down, it could be the stop sign is right on the left, and then Kitty Corner, and then Bar North would be to your right.
That's the brick building,
Yeah.
the brick house. Your house is right here, then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sharon?
Yeah.
No, it's to the
I'm
left.
off that.
Your house is over here.
No, we're there.
To the left,
We're left. No, it's right there.
right next to that.
It's right, not that one.
Right there.
That one.
That's your house. Okay.
Wow. So,
That almost looks like it's on the sidewalk in that house.
I'm thinking,
Andy,
yeah, I'm thinking that's an old brick house that used to be like an inn right across from you.
that almost looks like it could be the Richard
they had marked a lot of those buildings that are in that book. And then people were walking around the town and they had different people.
That's, okay, so back, I think you're right, I think it was in the seventies, but, somebody from Springfield came up here from the Historical Society, and they did talk about the Shippey store. And that was about the same time that they was walked it.
Gas pumps in front of Luther Shippey's Mill Street store, 1928. Okay, so this is the Luther Shippey store. That was more like ice cream. Wow.
It's amazing how many stores this town has housed.
A lot of stores in here that were in operation. Oh, creamery. Okay, this is the one. Okay. Creamery. This is located at the end of 2nd Street.
Behind their house.
So if you leave the museum, go down the hill, instead of turning on Mill Street, keep going straight. When it dead ends, the last house on the left is this one. Looks like this. It still looks like this. That's 1990s. It used to be this. It used to be a creamery. And a big deal. I guess they did a lot of business in there because I saw that a lot in the newspapers when I was doing the research. This would come up. So, and this is another one that Pam painted.
Yeah, she painted that one. I don't know where it is, but she did paint
Right
that.
here somewhere. Really, really cool. So you can pass that around.
So Steve, these are the files you're saying that at some point would be accessible.
Yes, I want to make them accessible and searchable based on their names. Yeah. Doesn't have a date on that one.
So was it 1910?
Yeah, it's 1910. It says here.
Somebody came through this area in 1910 and 1911 and took a lot of postcard photos. In 1910 and 1911.
Mobile gas station. This way, is this 1960?
John's got a picture. I don't know if he's got that picture. He's got the overview of that building. Because it was a house originally, and then they used the two bays.
Cedarville Illinois. There. Okay. Sharon, what's your address? Which one?
295.
95. So this is. That's your house. Yeah.
Sharon, who owned it before you?
Is it Holman?
What we did at one time, we didn't buy it.
See, that's the thing, there's like 3 and 4 and 5 different owners. And some of the historical things, when you go back and look at them, they just say so-and-so's house, you know, so Holman's house or whatever. So then you have to figure out which house we're talking about. So there's the area of Morris County one. We had 180.
Yep.
And that was right down the end of the street. Down the end of the street, I think Mill.
That's the guy who was the jitney driver.
Yes, yes.
What's that?
He had a jitney that took people back and forth to the train depot. Red Oak.
From the Arabian farm?
Yeah.
No, no,
Keep going down. It's
Oh.
it's a picture in there down.
he was handicapped for some serious ways. And the old story was that one woman got so impatient with this slow ride that she got out and walked and got there first.
Yeah, there's transportation between here and Red Oak to take you to the train station.
The portrait behind this is Mrs. Childress, who really loved the horses.
Is that where the Arabian farm was? Down at the end of Cedarville or Mill Street? Is that the end of Mill Street? Washington.
Oh, there, okay, there it is. There's the other grocery store.
Purdue Grocery. That was owned by.
Grocery store.
Yeah.
She gave us like that, Linda Almond, she gave us
Oh,
like
there it is.
20.
Yeah.
Jesse.
So we got our allowance 10 cents on Saturday morning, so I made many trips up to Mr. and Mrs. Purdue. And so my parents blew those up. A couple of those, they must have gotten them from Jim.
Yeah,
They gave them to
these are
me.
the pictures I'm thinking of. I thought
Yeah.
that was the other one.
Yeah.
I was going through it like I was there. It's like, oh.
You could, yeah.
Couple of the roses there. That's the front. it, so we can kind of get a bearing when we talk about certain buildings, so we know where they're at, and stuff like that.
I mean, and if people have pictures, and you email them, we'll save them.
I was thinking, Steve, I probably sent you, remember presentation I did a few years ago, and I discovered the aerial photos. It was done in 1939.
of stuff on him,
Yeah.
actually. Is he the Christmas tree farm, right?
If anybody wants a copy of this, this folder here is 50 gigabytes. Andy, I can put that on a flash drive. We get a big enough flash drive. I got this on an SD. It's 250 gigabytes. It's big. Most flash drives are, they go up to maybe 50, 40 gigabytes. But if anyone's interested in a copy of this whole thing, until I get this on our website, I can get you a copy of that, so you can just go through that. And then after you do a little research, and you come out here and do a presentation of what you know. So, all right.
We have a lot of picture of Galen's dad in there.
Yeah. You want to see it? I lost it. Where was it?
Individual.
Individual pictures. Go down.
Individual pictures.
Look, keep going.
Great. There. Under Galen. Okay. What a pencil.
See if you do Paul.
Army photos.
So look at what's got
There
it.
too.
There you go.
Yeah. Experiences.
It's 2010. You wrote that.
Yep. Okay, just let me know and I'll get you done.
Somebody else can go down the rabbit hole here.
Last night, I had to copy this from a Microsoft hard drive. I can't plug an external hard drive to a Mac. It won't read it. So I had to put it on a flash drive. And I waited till last night